commercial property inspection, one of the most overlooked items of that inspection is the signage. Now you're thinking the signage could be fairly innocuous. Why am I going to look at this? Well, it is part of the structure, but what's most important is it's also part of the life safety plan of the building. What I mean by that is this sign has to be visible from the street, and it's supposed to carry the building number to be visible from the street. So whether it's on this sign or whether it's on the building proper, you should have the number or the address of that building clear, and not just the Harvey and Bernice Jones Center for Families. You have to imagine that emergency personnel have never visited here and they're given an address. Well, I don't have an address here and I don't have an address on the building. And so that's going to be something I'm going to mention. Whether they fix it or not, that's not going to be what we're going to be concerned with. What we're going to be concerned with is the street sign visible from the street with the building number? Now, beyond that, there are a lot of items on this sign I want to look at. And let's begin with the electric. When looking at the electric, remember, there's nothing more important than carrying your non-contact voltage detector. You shouldn't touch any electrical devices without first verifying that we don't have any loose or stray current that's going to electrocute you. So then I'm going to take a look at these. This is the junction box that's splitting off the electric for all of this. It might even be a transformer housed inside of this. It's beyond our scope to open it up. It does require dismantling. But what's important to identify, because it's a sign and because it's remote, does it have a disconnect out here for servicing? And in our case, inside of this switch is a disconnect. And so I do have that available for whoever's servicing this. Then I'll walk around the entire perimeter of the sign and look for any issues that might be present as far as the electric goes. When walking around the sign, you're going to test it using normal operating controls. What that could be is just a simple switch that might be present. Something that's not a normal operating control or a control that you're going to be able to operate would probably be a photo sensor or a light timer. To test and operate one of those, you might find a person of knowledge in the building to help you with that. If you can't find any of that, then at least visually inspecting the electric and the sign is really important. And in fact, in our case, we have found that we have open electric down here at the end of this light fixture. And that open electric could allow water into the fixture and electrocute somebody or fail the fixture. So remember, only operate these with normal operating controls. And if you need to do something extraordinary or if it's within your comfort zone, then you can find a person of knowledge or using the timer or the photo sensor. But we're testing and operating the signs that are readily accessible using those normal controls. Continuing with the access or the entrance to the building, drainage is a big concern, especially if you're working in a commercial property that might be in a heavy, let's say, hydration area. You're in South Florida and you got rain every afternoon. Or you're in the Midwest and it's not unusual to get monster rainstorms. Or you're in the Southwest and you've got monsoon season. So when I'm looking at these properties, I got to look at the entrance of where the water is shedding. Is it coming off of the street onto this property? And if it gets onto this property, is it going to pool and congregate? You don't have to have a lot of complicated pieces of equipment. We're not surveyors. Your eyes are all that you need. And in our case, I can look above me, and if I look all the way as far as that one-way sign, I can see that's considerably higher than where I'm standing. But if I look over to my right shoulder, I've got all the water from that parking lot coming this way, and I've got all the water from this higher street coming this way. But the good news, none of that water is pooling here where I'm standing. It's all being moved around. So that tells us we've got good drainage. Now, how do I know I don't have any pooling water? I don't see any evidential signs. There's no evidence of pooling, ponding, or mud on this asphalt surface. And those will be your key elements. So remember, watch your entrances and watch your drainage.